Hi there, and welcome to Viridor's Competent Person Training Programme. Successful completion of this training is the first step to becoming an authorised competent person in Viridor and to accept permits and other safety documents. Before we go any further, we have some core expectations to make sure everybody goes home safe. Follow the rules, assess all risks, and take ownership. Home Safe puts your personal responsibility for safety at the heart of everything we do, putting the me in Home Safe. At Viridor, we are committed to providing clear and effective health and safety management arrangements. The safe system of work applicable to all ERF assets is known as the Electromechanical Safety Rules. It is a legal requirement of the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 that we have a safe system of work. The Viridor ERF safety rules are derived from the CEGB safety rules used in similar industries for many years. The ERF safety rules shall be followed by anyone working on a Viridor system to protect them from danger. A competent person is a defined role who will be responsible for carrying out work safely, according to the ERF safety rules described in this module. Let's first have a look at the types of danger present on our ERF facilities. Inherent danger present in the system, and general danger from the area and task. The first type of danger is inherent danger. This relates to the potential danger caused by hazards within the system. Examples of inherent danger are steam, pressure systems, electricity, motive power, chemicals, stored energy, and high temperatures. Our systems are safe by design in their normal operating mode. When work or testing is due to take place where the plant is taken out of its normal operating state, the ERF safety rules shall be applied in order to specify how to achieve safety from the system. The second type of danger is general danger, which can be thought of as covering two areas: danger from the task and danger in the work area. Examples of task danger are manual handling, use of substances such as those assessed under COSH, working at height, and the use of mobile plant. Task-related danger shall be controlled through your approved RAMs or SOPRAs. Safety in the work area is known as general safety and applies at and in the vicinity of the place of work. Examples of general safety are housekeeping, spillages, access and egress routes, other working parties, vehicle movements, and tools and equipment. General safety shall be controlled by a point of work risk assessment, or a POWRA. Viridor have established key roles who all play a vital part in this safe system of work to ensure we all go home safe. And the competent person is one of these key roles, all of which need to be nominated by an appropriate officer of Viridor. Let's take a brief look at the roles that form part of the delivery of the ERF safety rules. A senior authorised person, or SAP, is trained and experienced in the ERF safety rules. They are responsible for assessing the task and the activity related to safety from the system. As an SAP, they are not responsible for the general danger aspects of RAMs. These should be pre-vetted by the job sponsor or person who requires the work to be completed. Authorised persons, or AP, are persons who are trained and experienced in the safety rules procedures and are responsible for correctly implementing specified procedures before the work commences, such as applying isolation specified by the SAP following a clear isolation certificate. Nominated supervisors, or NS, are responsible for establishing general safety and completing the POWRA prior to the start of a task. They may also have additional responsibilities such as the control and issue of certain procedures and safety documents. A nominated supervisor can be responsible for multiple working parties and is responsible for supervising the working parties they are in charge of. And finally, the competent person, or a CP. They are the individual or supervisor of a working party who will be carrying out the task or work. They are responsible for receiving, clearing, and transferring the safety document, only signing the safety document or documents once they fully understand the precautions required, signing on to the point of work risk assessment from the ANS before starting the task, and maintaining general safety throughout the course of the work. Apart from the key roles mentioned, there are additional roles which are important to be aware of. The selected person is a person qualified by technical knowledge and experience to carry out tests and examinations and make recommendations regarding additional special precautions to be taken to safeguard persons. The control person is a person who is responsible for agreeing to the release of plant and apparatus for work or testing, and in circumstances defined in these rules and/or local management instructions, for controlling and coordinating safety activities necessary to achieve safety from the system. So now that you know the 4 key roles, let's talk you through how these rules are applied in practice. We face inherent dangers in our facilities. We have a process for keeping us safe from those dangers while we conduct work on the facilities. People have specific roles to perform within the process, and we have defined documents and tools to assist those roles in performing their tasks and conforming with the process. Application of the ERF safety rules involves following a logical process. We'll now review each stage of this process in detail, starting with assessing the task. In all cases, a risk assessment and method statement shall still be required before the work is carried out. These will be submitted as part of a work pack to the Permit Office. The first consideration taken by the SAP when assessing a task will be determining whether it's taking place on or adjacent to the system, and which of the safety rules apply. If the work to be carried out is outside of the system, an alternative safe system of work will be applied. For work of a low-risk nature, the SAP may decide that a written instruction is sufficient in place of a safety document. If a safety document is required, the first option will be to issue a blue Limited Work Certificate, LWC. This will be used when the SAP has decided to set limitations on the working party to protect them from the system. A Limited Work Certificate shall define the limitations of the work, testing, or work area necessary to achieve safety from the system. For example, scaffolding being erected within the restrictions of a specified area. The competent person and their working party shall follow these instructions throughout the course of the work to ensure they are protected from any system-related hazards. The second safety document is a Pink Permit for Work, PFW. This is used if the senior authorised person deems that limiting the work or work area is insufficient to achieve safety from the system, and precautions are required that will remain in place for the duration of the works. Stage 2. Establish safety. If using a permit for work, the SAP shall decide if any of the following precautions may need to be taken: isolate, drain, vent, purge, release or containment of stored energy, protection from high temperatures, and apply earth devices. The SAP will create an isolation certificate detailing the precautions required and pass this on to the authorised person. They will put them in place on the facility and shall have a red padlock and caution notice applied. These points of isolation must not be tampered with in any way. When all precautions have been put in place, then the keys are secured by the SAP in a key safe using their control key. A key safe key is then removed from the key safe and attached to the permit for work and will not be released until all the work has been completed. No live work is permitted on low voltage apparatus. If live work is required, then a review shall be undertaken in accordance with Viridor procedures. This may be in the form of a normal routine instruction, NRI, or limited work certificate, LWC, depending on the voltage involved. A permit for work with restoration of motive power, or ROMP, is a yellow safety document which allows the competent person to remove an isolation and restore a system hazard to complete the work. They must be trained and authorized to accept a ROMP procedure. The permit to work with ROMP must be accompanied by an authorized written procedure, for example when refitting a conveyor belt and commissioning it back into the system to remount the conveyor belt. Before your safety document can be issued to you, your NS will complete a Point of Work Risk Assessment, POWRA, identifying any general safety hazards and putting measures in place to control them. Your work may have an impact on other working parties, or other people's work may impact on your team. Your NS will discuss how this work will be controlled with the NS in charge of the other working party, and may ask for your advice to help resolve any issues. Any actions will be recorded on the Point of Work Risk Assessment to be briefed to you. If the hazard cannot be controlled or mitigated, then the NS will return to the Permit Office to discuss a resolution. The POWRA must be completed at the start of every work period or when conditions change. Your NS will brief you in the contents of the POWRA and discuss the control measures in place. Before going to the Permit Office to receive your safety document, you must sign on to the POWRA to confirm your understanding and acceptance to maintain general safety. You must then brief your entire working party on the contents of the POWRA. During the work, you, as the CP, are responsible for maintaining general safety at the point of work and recording any actions you take to maintain safety if something changes. As the competent person, you must ensure the work area remains safe, uses safe methods of work, that personal protective equipment remains in good condition and appropriate to the task, and that safe access and egress is available even in the event of an emergency. Stage 3. Issue safety documents. Safety documents are issued to the competent person by the senior authorized person once their content, the control measures and safe systems of work for the task, are understood and in place. If there is no key attached to the permit for work, or the document is not signed by an SAP, do not accept the safety document. Depending on the nature of the task, the senior authorized person has two options about how the safety document is controlled. The first option is a personally held safety document. This is issued directly to the competent person and must be kept under their control at the point of work for the duration of the task. It must be dated and is valid on a daily basis. It is essential that you, as the competent person, read and understand the document risk assessment and safe system of work for the task to be carried out. If you are unclear about anything within the safety document, you must raise these concerns with the Permit Office immediately. When you understand and are confident of the detail, sign the document. On signing the document, you must comply with all the conditions and precautions within the safety document. Once signed, the document will be placed in the document wallet, and any other paperwork can then be placed in the back of this document wallet or kept alongside. It is then taken to the point of work by the competent person. Your copy of the safety document must be available for inspection at your point of work at all times. If you get to the point of work and the safety document does not match the item of plant to be worked on, or if you are in any doubt, do not start the task and return to the Permit Office. The second option the senior authorized person may use when issuing a safety document, and when the work to be carried out will involve multiple working parties, is through a card-safe safety document system. A working party's safety document will be retained in a card safe rather than being taken by the competent person to the point of work. The issuing process is the same as for a personally held safety document. However, a nominated supervisor may also carry out the reissue process. The safety document will then be placed in the card safe and additionally secured with an orange nominated supervisor lock. Once signed, The competent person will then secure it using their black competent person padlock and complete the first section of the transfer record. Any further working parties who then need to work under this safety document will sign on to it via the transfer record form, which slots in behind the card safe. They too will secure the card safe using their individual competent person's padlock. Stage 4. Conducting the work. If the competent person of the working party is to provide immediate supervision, the CP shall remain on site and be contactable, as agreed with by the working party. On some occasions, the senior authorised person may decide that immediate supervision is not sufficient for the work being carried out. In this instance, personal supervision will be stated on the safety document. If personal supervision has been stipulated, then you, as the competent person, must remain with the working party for the duration of the task. In general, the competent person must provide immediate supervision, which means they must be available on site at all times during the work, and they must regularly return to oversee the working party. If at any time when you're working the conditions change, or hazards arise, or if you misplace the safety document or associated keys, then stop work immediately and report to the permit office. If, as the competent person, you have to leave site, then work will stop, the area made safe, and your working party will leave the working area. The safety document must be surrendered or transferred to another competent person in the presence of a senior authorised person before work begins. Stage 5. Completing the work. At the end of the working period, the competent person is responsible for checking that the work has been carried out successfully, and that any guards, walkways or panels that have been removed are back in place. They are responsible for making sure the working area is left clean and tidy with no trip hazards. Once you are satisfied with the complete working area, you must make sure that all members of the working party stop work and leave the area. The competent person must return the safety document to the permit office. If the work is complete, the competent person shall sign off the clearance section of the safety document. When signing off this section, the competent person must note any exceptions which would prevent the plant from being safely returned to service. For example, lagging or guards still to be replaced. If there are no exceptions, the competent person should state none, nil, or NA in this section. If the work has not been completed, the competent person should sign the surrender section of the safety document. The safety document will then be retained in the permit office until the competent person requires it again. For a card-safe document, at the end of the working period or if you are leaving site, the competent person shall sign off the transfer record and remove their competent person's padlock. If the work has been completed, then tick the cleared box noting any exceptions as previously explained. If the work hasn't been completed, then tick the surrender box in the surrender section. When they return, they sign back onto the document via the transfer record and attach their black competent person's padlock. At the end of the task, and when the final working party competent person has completed their work, the safety document is released by the removal of the last black padlock and orange nominated supervisor lock, and is then signed to clear the document. It is important to note that the competent person is only signing and taking responsibility for their working party's part of the task. Let's just summarise the process. The senior authorised person assesses the task to determine if it is within or out with the boundary of the system, and decide which safety document is required to ensure safety from the system. The safety document is prepared and any necessary isolation work is carried out by the authorised person to make the worksite safe. Safety keys for red isolation padlocks are kept in a key safe, and the key safe key attached to the safety document. Your nominated supervisor will conduct a point of work risk assessment and brief you as the competent person. The safety document is issued to the competent person and keeps this document available at the worksite at all times. Finally, when work is complete, the competent person returns the safety document to the senior authorised person and removes their padlocks. In summary, to keep us safe from inherent dangers while conducting a task at a worksite, our ERF safety rules combined with clearly defined roles, supported by correct and consistent use of documents and tools, means that there is a process for ensuring safety from the system. Following on from this video, there will be a practical demonstration of the safety document process, after which you'll be required to complete a short questionnaire to ensure you understand your role and responsibilities as a Viridor competent person under the ERF safety rules. On successful completion, you'll be issued with an authorization certificate which will detail your level of authorization, which safety documents you may accept, surrender and clear, and what parts of the system you may work on. Only approved persons may work on electrical apparatus. Your authorization will be for a maximum period of 2 years unless there is a reason to review your authorization sooner. Your authorization will be valid across all ERF sites. However, a separate authorization form is required at each site. Thank you for your attention during this video. The role of the competent person within the Viridor ERF safety rules plays a vital part in keeping those on site safe and healthy, and ensures that everyone gets home safe.